Hello, welcome to LOCKBEARD Random Live, number 72 Turtle Stream. It's May 15th, 2022. It's been a while since I've done a random live. Icon, I don't know. Mr. Lee, I guess he got tired of trying to get me to do more live streams. So I don't know. Maybe he is. It's should be like 3:43 a.m. where Mr. Lee's at. Patty Troy, welcome. Coming from an undisclosed location. Hey Jay, welcome. I didn't plan on picking any turtles off the road today, but because I wasn't going back to where I'm normally at. But I saw these two guys sitting in the pretty close to each other in the middle of a busy highway. Get some. Oh, that light's not going to work at all, is it? Maybe not. Anyway, so I went ahead and stopped and got them, but I wasn't planning on going back out to the farm. So these guys have been on a little journey with me. Now, this one can't stop moving. And this one here just ain't having it. Just ain't having it. I don't know if they can recognize themselves in the screen or not. But they've put on some. They probably put more miles in today than a turtle will in a lifetime. Yeah. Now he's coming out. He's like, hey, if I'm going to be on camera, I'm coming out. So I don't know. They're traveling with me till we go back out there, and then I'll release them out there. Out of town. They're in the middle in a highway in the middle of town. Ain't no place for a turtle. So yep. Shall we call him co-host? I can't say hi, Mark Dodman. Hello. How's it going, man? Icon says dinner. Do you eat box turtles? I didn't think a lot of people were. There's not a lot of meat on them, is there? Jay says, Lockbeard, I got a friend request on Facebook. Is it okay if I confirm? You did? From me? I don't ever send them to anybody. If you got a friend request from me, then it might be a troll pretending to be me. There's been a lot of that going on where people make a fake account and they'll get your pictures and to do it with, and then they'll pose as you and send friend requests to people on your friends list. Now, I thought I had my friends list hidden just to prevent such things, but so I don't know. I'm not on Facebook too horribly much. Like I've been really trying to just get away from it. But if you send me a friend request, I'll accept. But But um, I'm just not on there. A lot of people wonder, why don't you ever answer? Well, I'm not on there very much. And a lot of times when I jump on there, it's too much. Um, I may not notice there's friend requests and stuff like that, but icon says eat the camera, eat the camera. You think the turtle wants to eat the camera? I don't think he wants to eat the camera. Let's see if he'll perch there. He was sitting up there. He climbed up there earlier. Whoops. Ah, that wasn't good. He's all right, though. Hmm. You think you're just hungry? Well, get some food. I just went and got me some food. So I'm stuffed myself. Oh, a friend of someone we both know. Um, so you got a friend's request from someone we both know? Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on who it is, whether or not you want to accept their friend request or not. Um, I guess that's up to you. So, yeah. Yep, that's because I imagine there might be a few people you don't want to accept friend requests from. So yeah, I don't know. I I mean, I accept people's friend requests for the most part. There's a rare occasion when I don't. Sometimes, like if it's like I know for sure it's a fake. It's a troll. It's spam of some kind, or scammer of some kind, and I'll accept them anyway, and like just start trying to talk to them to see what their scam is, and then when it starts to present itself, and I say, so that's what you're doing. That's what your scam is. And sometimes they get mad. Sometimes they say, "Oh, you're funny." And I'm like, "Well, this isn't funny. I'm sick of getting friend requests from accounts that are bullshit, trying to scam me in some way." Like I talked about that one during the last live stream, I think it was. Um, insisting that I send my pictures through private message instead of just looking at my profile to see pictures. So I don't know. Facebook's just got a problem, and it's funny how they'll censor you if you say the wrong thing. If your political speech is not correct according to Facebook, they will censor you, block your posts and stuff like that. And yet, all these fake accounts are on there, and it's strange. If you're in the far left camp, you can make death threats, and Facebook seems okay about it. But if a far right person says something, even suggesting that, they'll get censored. So, I mean, I think everybody should not be making death threats at all, either way. But the Facebook is definitely it's definitely biased. Oh, all right. I didn't understand what you were saying. Yeah, that's fine. I'm almost afraid to start up Facebook. One thing I've noticed about Facebook is when I start it up, it it binds up the computer, and then it'll end up where the thing will lock up, and then it will just shut down. And so I'll have to restart. Like Facebook, I'm because that's the only thing it happens with. If I use Facebook, if I got Facebook going, it will bind up the computer and shut it down. It's crazy. I guess too many of them CIA satellites are linking up to my computer. Facebook does that to your phone too, Brandy. Welcome to the chat, Brandy. I have two co-hosts. Two one's a little more shy than the other. Um, Traveling companions. So, yep. Just isn't interested in coming out of its shell. This one. This one, on the other hand, that's all he wants to do is crawl. He's finally stopped crawling around, but that's all he's done is crawl around. I don't know if they can understand what they're seeing on the screen or not. This lighting is not working for this guy, though. Jay says the only thing I like about Facebook is I get a lot of naked pics of young chicks. Yeah, but they're mostly fake. They're mostly, well, they're probably all fake. Hey, Troy, welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't planning on picking any up because I wasn't heading back out to the farm, but these two are in the middle of a busy highway in town, and they were like within 30 feet of each other, I think, roughly. So it was a two first stop, and so they've been riding around with me today, and tomorrow I'll take them back with me and release them in a safer area. Brandy says one's gay, staying in its shell. It could be. I don't know. It's come out a couple times. I put them under the water faucet earlier, rinse them off, and they seem to like that. But yeah, see, this one has his face ain't so dark, so you can see him. Yeah. See, now he wants to come out. He's like, well, you pick me up, I gotta look around. Oh, yeah, there he goes. He's coming out of his shell. Yeah, turtles, this is the internet. You are probably better off without this shit. Yep. Probably some of these people never got that close a look at a turtle. Yep. Um, Donald, welcome. Yeah, Brandy says, Jay, those probably aren't really chicks. Yeah, a lot of times they aren't. Cause yeah, it's like I was saying in the last live stream. To all the guys, it's like if you get friend requests from like uh, you know hot chicks, I guess they look like they're damn models um, on Facebook, and you don't know them. They're not really chicks. And a lot of times, if you go look at their profile, and like some of them are stupid. Like you'll dig through their pictures on the profile, and you'll find pictures of a guy of another ethnicity, probably somewhere in Africa, and because you get a lot of those scams coming out of Africa. Uh, Mark Dodman says it is seasonal for them to be out and about, like down here, Lockbeard. Yeah, this time of year. They come out and start moving around, and unfortunately, um, there's these death zones that they have to cross to get to places. There's roads everywhere, and unfortunately, a turtle, their way of defense is to climb up inside their shell, which will work fine for something like a stupid coyote, raccoons and stuff. For the most part, it works fine, but it don't work with cars. So one thing I've noticed over the years, because I've been picking turtles off the road since I was a kid, is that a lot of them have gotten where they are less likely to clam up, and instead, clam up like go in their shell to hide, and they'll like dang near break out into a run. At least for a turtle, turtle can't move too fast, but moving about as fast as a box turtle can run, and trying to get off the damn road, which is a good thing for that. But if they try to do that with something in the woods, they're going to have a problem. They need to still know to go in their shell for their predators. But yeah, see, you said we tend to get the little swampies crossing the roads when they are looking for a place to lay their eggs. Yeah, and then of course these are land turtles here, but yeah, they're basically doing the same thing. Looking for mates, going to lay eggs. But the water turtles do cross the roads. Like I've pulled a couple of water turtles off the roads. A snapping turtle, which is a turtle that um, most people should not jack with a snapping turtle because it can take a finger off. Um, if you don't know what you're doing, do not jack with a snapping turtle. Um, I've had many of them for pets. I have tamed them. People say you can't tame a snapping turtle, and I'm here to tell you that's total bullshit. I've tamed many of them. And now, if you get a really old one, like I wouldn't even trust a big one, because these things they'll get a shell. Their shell will be this big and bigger, and they got this huge head on them that could probably take a hand off. So even if you think you got that thing tamed, I wouldn't trust it because it's one stupid mistake away from doing some serious injury to you. It's extremely powerful animal, and and like people like, what do you mean a mistake? Like one of these guys. I was barefoot in a turtle pen one time, and I wasn't paying attention to all the turtles. There were a whole bunch of these guys in there, but I was sitting down in there, and my little pinky toe was wiggling, and one of these guys decided it looked like a meal and took a bite. Now these can't do much harm, but if a snapping turtle makes that kind of mistake, you're going to lose something. You're going to have an amputation situation, and so, but yeah, they come and get on the roads, and there's they get out there and they try to go in their shell and hide because that's what they normally would do in the wild with a predator. But instead they end up stuck on the highway, and every time they try to come out and crawl off, another car comes and spooks them back in their shell, and so it's a problem. I found there's so many dead on the road, and the biologists are telling us their numbers are going down. Because partly because of the death toll on the roads, but also because of the pet trade, and it affects things. People like really should. Like I always, when I was growing up, I kept them for the season and I turn them all loose in the fall. And so that was how I did it. And if people are going to do it, they should probably do it like that. Jay says, okay, ending my bull hockey. Hello to all my beautiful lady lockers and you ugly hairy leg lockers. Donald says, cute little shit. Yeah, this lighting isn't. I don't know what else to do about the lighting in here. It's not really ideal, is it? I'm going to put these guys in this bucket, though, because they keep wanting to crawl around on this desk, and if they do that, sooner or later, they're going to slip off of it. And it won't hurt them. It's like they're going to fall on carpet. It's a turtle that can handle that, but I'd rather not do that to them. Jay says, I have verily, I check everybody out. Yeah. Mark Donald says, Brandy, have been a while since I said good day. Hope you have been well. Donald says, we have a spot where they cross the road at Arrowhead Lake. It's sad how many get run over. Yeah. Yeah, I think they should do a lot more in the way of wildlife, like underpasses. So, like with turtle, like a lot of animals, they're going to hop in, go across the road anyway, some of the time. But if you have a culvert, if you throw a culvert under the road every so often, just as a wildlife passage point, just maybe even if it's just 18 inches, a lot of animals will figure out they could use that, to cross safely. And then if the edge of the road comes out and then drops off by maybe a foot instead of just coming straight to the grass, turtles and stuff will crawl up and they won't be able to go up that. So they'll go along it until they come to one of those culverts and they can go across through a culvert. But the public wouldn't want to pay for the expense of that, I guess. Soft shell are pretty bad too. Yeah, them suckers can be vicious. I've seen them jump off the ground. Brandy says, haha, amputation situation sounds like a Schoolhouse Rock song, does it? Can anyone see the lunar eclipse? I don't know if it's what's visible from here. I know there's a live stream covering it on the Copernic Observatory channel. And so
of the eclipse event is occurring through it's shown through our 6-inch refractor. It's a very long telescope.
Let me
you can see it. We've shown
take the sound off.
Tonight I won't be able to
probably show that in a little window.
At a future date, we can try and get that.
Anyway, he's covering it. And there's probably others covering it. That's just the one I'm aware of.
I added that to the title above.
So, yeah. There you go. Jay says snapping turtles can extend its neck up to 20 inches. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful if you're handling one of those that is very big. They're magnificent creatures. You see one like in the wild. Like most people don't see the really big ones in the wild. I mean, I've caught a lot of them, but like up to, shells, that big. But like the really big ones you see in the zoos in some places, monstrously big creatures. They're just getting more rare, I guess, and there's harder to find a spot because they're, hidden out deep. And but I watched one really, really giant one for a long time at a camp, and it was what it was doing because it was a creek that was pretty clear water, and the perch had made their nest, so I could see this perch guarding its nest down there, and this snapping turtle was slowly, really, really slowly creeping up on this perch. He was about to waste that perch, but I never did see him actually get it. I had to go, but I assume he did get it. But he was a monster snapping turtle. If a snapping turtle that big decided it wanted a kid, it could take it. It could take a child. They are insanely strong. Right now we have the red-eared sliders coming up in the yard to lay their eggs. Yeah, I've seen them out too, walking around. I saw a snapping turtle I was driving down the road and I saw him in the middle of someone's road with a nest hole dug. The owners probably didn't even know what was going on out in their yard. And one must have laid eggs where I'm usually at because we found a couple of baby snappers in the lawn. So somewhere, one of them must have laid eggs there. And welcome, Blue-Eyed Northern. Cloudy. Oh, you got clouds. We had some clouds earlier, so I don't know if I'd be able to see anything. Jay says, and they're lightning fast when they snap. Yeah. Very fast. Oh, this chat jumped on me here.
We'll be back to the eclipse in just a moment. There we go.
Troy says What is
And I will get back to
Polychronicon?
your
A
question in
history
just a
or a
second.
bloodline? What in the world are you talking about? Polychronicon? I don't even know what you're talking about. Let me a Polychronicon? I don't know what you're talking about. Translation of Higdon's original work.
Oh, someone asked, can we see the redness again? The red of
Yeah, I
the
don't
moon.
know what you're talking about there.
I'm so sorry I didn't get your name there. The chat log is just flying
Don
by.
says lost my shit today running over a squirrel. Darn thing ran out. Didn't have a chance in hell. Yeah, sometimes they get stupid.
It's funny that the chat log flies so
Sometimes
fast.
they get real stupid on the
Even when I
road.
scroll,
I don't know
it becomes a little tricky to
why
find
they
the
are.
question I've targeted.
They
So
do
let me
such
adjust
stupid
the
stuff,
view
but
here.
they do.
I finally got the chat log to stand still there. So
And rabbits
here.
do,
First
and
one was,
deer
can we see the red
do.
again?
It's just,
So to do that,
I think they're just
first take a
confused
quick
of
picture
what
of
exactly
the
do I
current view.
do about this situation. What is
Trying to
this?
get some good data
I don't
tonight
think
that
on
we can
genetic
use to
level
process
they
later
they
on.
have figured out exactly what a freaking car
And
is.
then
You
we
know,
will expose the
it's
darker
it's not like a normal
region there, the
creature.
umbra, the shadow, and you can see that
So
red there.
you know, what do you do when you're an animal
The
trying to
image does
figure out
pause.
something
You'll
like that?
notice when I take a picture, it does pause because I'm taking a long exposure. So that can be
And I
anywhere
see we
between
got Timmy
1
in the
second
house.
to 8 seconds. And I may be able to show you some of this data a little bit later on.
Timmy in the
For
house.
now, actually, when we enter totality,
He says, "What up, people?"
The countdown. And
Nikki's
I'll show you
here.
the preview images that I'm getting.
I assume y'all had a show. I was on the road. Couldn't quite catch it.
That way I can get rid of that window and hopefully
Welcome to
operate
the
the
chat,
stream
though.
a little better because I'm limited on screen space on what I can manage here. Take another 8-second exposure. Then we'll bring that down to a 4-second exposure.
Yep. All the highs and hellos and whatnots. So yeah, I just figured maybe I should do it live.
Camera battery is continuing to hold up. That's a good sign.
Well, that's yeah, I'll turn off the this guy's covering the lunar eclipse. So I figured we'd keep an eye on that, Donald. But yeah, those people just getting there. Traveling with turtles for some reason because I'm crazy, I guess. I couldn't leave them in the road. So, and I wasn't planning on heading back to the farm. So, so I just picked them up and figured they'd just come with me, stay a night in the hotel, and yeah. Boy says, hell yeah, Lockbeard. You don't have your glasses on. Oh, well. Here's turtle number 1. and they'll be released into the wild again tomorrow. However, this guy could almost be somebody's pet just the way he is. He gives zero shit that's about what's going on here. He just wants to crawl all over everything. This one's a little more shy, but everybody saw it come out earlier. His back foot's hanging out. So anyway. Well, sometimes I go places I need to stay in a hotel. A little higher comfort level, that's for sure. I'm out of town though. Well, they're about to join dozens more of their own kind. Um, about well, these guys they'll end up about 10 miles away from where they started, and a lot for like out way out in the pretty far out in the woods, away from any major highways, because they were in the middle of a major highway and probably on track to die like a lot of their friends. So anyway, so they'll be in a safer place tomorrow. WTF? Hello, Danny. What's up? Donald says they're cute. Leonardo and Raphael. I haven't seen them do any kung fu or ninja stuff, but they might be just that slick. Go, ninja, go, ninja, go. Sanders says, Lockbeard, what turtles eat? These kind, like they'll eat bugs, they'll eat fruit, they'll eat leaves. They eat a lot of different stuff. Um, Actually, the blackberries are blooming right now. I don't know if the mulberry trees are blooming, but basically here in a few weeks, several weeks from now, there's going to be fruit all over the place. So they'll have an unlimited supply of berries. And um, when I moved those beehives, which I should have been, I didn't get the videos where I could show you the videos. I need to figure out how to, I don't know what it is. I thought I've done this before, getting video from my phone to the computer. But when I plugged it up, it wouldn't do anything. And I thought I could go through the Google thing, but it didn't. I don't know what the problem is. I'll figure it out though. But anyway, when I moved those hives, inside the center blocks were multiple black widow spiders, and I've heard these guys will eat those just fine. So hopefully they eat the black widows, because I thought I'd gotten them all. I don't really like killing them, like even like brown recluse. I don't normally kill them, but I was going to be moving these cinder blocks, and they were living inside the cinder block, so I killed them. But I missed one, and I ended up moving that cinder block, and because usually I just don't even think about it, just grab stuff. I mean, I try to watch, but I mean, usually, I don't watch that close, and I guess I didn't get bit, but there was a black widow in that cinder block when I picked it up. So, um, I went down. They shouldn't. They should be fine a day without food. They're turtles. I did go down to the lobby and see if they had anything that was turtle friendly to eat, but I'm not going to feed them frosted flakes. So they'll be fine. They've had water though. They even had better air conditioning than I had because I got a styrofoam cup with ice in it and sat it in that bucket with them, so it cooled things down inside the bucket because it got pretty hot today. Yeah. Oh, they have pretty good claws on that back foot. No, I got a bucket here. Actually, I think this is why I transported the not the last swarm of bees, but the one before that came in this bucket. But I'm going to put him back in the bucket though. That way he can't get in any trouble. And this one too. Yep. I can sleep in that. Danny says, so I'm smoking a big bowl and I see you on. I hit play. First thing I see is this giant turtle. You should be familiar with turtles. No, Fuller says our apple trees are blooming, healthiest bloom I've seen in years. So hopefully your honeybees are out there working those flowers. I haven't heard about any swarms in the area. I'd like to collect some more swarms, but and I was hoping they'd just keep coming and just start buying hives, I guess, to house some more, and then hopefully get them to making money, make a business out of it. It'll take time to build that up, though. Turtle stew, yummy. You're not the only one to bring up eating turtles. Everybody wants to eat the turtles. Yeah, so I don't know. I got a couple of videos on the phone, but that was one I released 2 days ago, I think. I always release them in this same spot, and they climb up this embankment to go into the woods, and then it's a real steep hill on the other side of there, going down where I guess back in the old days, people used to mine coal out of that pit, and now it's kind of a ravine. There's where the cows are. There's some guineas over there. And Nita says, hello all. CWB says, my girlfriend just picked up a turtle from the road this week. She didn't want it to get squished. Yeah, I don't like it when they get squished myself. It was nice of her to do that. Welcome to the chat, CWB. Donald says, one of our neighbors down the road has the beehives. They come and do their job. Yeah, they're still getting established, that hive is, so I didn't want to pull any frames out. Then he says, I hadn't had no turtle stew since the 80s. My grandmother used to make it once in a while. Timmy says they have about 5 different meats under that shell, all delicious. So you see on that's a Swiffer sheet. You see those little bugs, those little beetles? Those are hive beetles, and they are a problem. See that bee checking them out, making sure they're properly dealt with? Because the bees, they try to deal with them, but it can get out of control if you don't got enough bees, and they'll destroy your colony. But that's a Swiffer sheet, and you put that Swiffer sheet in there, and the bees, they look at it as a foreign object, so they want to tear it apart and drag it out of the hive. So as they're doing that, they're fluffing up those fibers, and the hive beetles get stuck in those fluffed up fibers and die. So you get the unscented version of the Swiffer sheets, and there you see it in action right there. You had three or four hive beetles, I think, was on there, and they'd only fluffed up on that one edge of the sheet. Thank you, Brandy. How many stings? Since I've got these bees, because I've been stung so many times in my lifetime by various things that I couldn't tell you a number, hundreds of times. But that hive you were looking at just now, they stung me once, and I'd already opened it up just like there, because those bees weren't stinging me. They were they were perfectly fine. But I'd opened that hive up before, and it was on a different spot. It was about 10 feet away from that spot, but I'd open it up, and in there anyway, I was sitting there next to it talking, and one random bee, just, I guess I didn't like me hanging around too long, and let me know it. And then the other hive, which where did I? The other hive, when I was catching them, I was with a beekeeper who he likes to go ahead and shake like a swarm. I don't know if everybody understands what a swarm is. Whenever you have a hive that is gotten too big for the space it's living in a tree or in a hive box or wherever it's living, the old queen, the existing queen, will take a whole bunch of bees and leave to go find a new home. The old hive is still there, but it's got way less bees in it now, and the bees that are there will grow a new queen. So the inexperienced queen, the new queen, gets the old hive, and then one day she will leave with a swarm herself once she's an experienced queen. Um, so what will happen is when they leave the hive, this swarm of bees, they'll land. The queen will land somewhere, and all the bees will land there with her. You'll see this huge clump of bees hanging on something. And like when I was catching those, there was a person there that kept referring to him as a hive, and I was trying to say, look, there's no hive here. Um, they're looking for a place to create a hive, but there's not that's not a beehive. It's just a bunch of bees hanging on the branch that we usually call a swarm. But anyway, so he wanted to shake them off the branch, and so I figured I'll go ahead and do it. A lot of people do it that way. There's some cases where you kind of you kind of have to because the way things are. But in this situation, I didn't really feel like it was necessary. But other than this other beekeeper wanted to do it, so I did it, and I got stung about 5 times. Um, and then pretty quickly there, he went and got his bee suit on, but I didn't have a bee suit. I had no intention on putting on a bee suit. Um, and so he said he at some point he said, "Well, I gotta leave. I gotta go back to work." And I said, "All right, I'm just gonna wait for them to calm down because they were mad." And we shook them into that box, but a lot of them um, were already in the box. So, and the queen was in there. I was pretty sure the queen was in there. So I just waited for them to calm down a little bit. Then I walked up to the box. There's bees flying all the way around. Not one of them stung me at this point. Closed the box. And they all kind of went to the box. And I picked up the box and took it over closer to the van where the van was at and set it back down. And went and looked at the branch, and there were some buzzing around the branch, but they weren't landing on it. So the queen is almost certainly in that box because they all went into the box, or most of them went in the box. And there was two sitting on the side there. So they're right there by the crack, where open the box lid. So I opened it up a little bit, just enough for them to walk in. They walked right in, closed it up, stuck them in the van, drove off. When I got back to where the hives are at, I there had a frame in there. The frames I had a frame in the box because I felt like it helped. A lot of those bees, they're kind of familiar with that. It's got a little bit of comb on it, and they want to go on the comb. They like it. It's home. So I pulled the frame out, stuck it in the hive, and then I didn't want to shake them again or even really dump them. So I just leaned the box up against the front of the hive to let them walk in on their own. And they were starting to go, but they weren't going very fast, and the sun was going down. So I wanted to speed things up. So I scooped them up barehanded, you know, several handfuls of them, and put them in the hive. And they didn't sting me at all at that point. So, I like the idea of trying to handle them more gently, you know, and I don't think bees are quite as stupid as people tend to think. I think that there is some level of trust that can be built with the bees. And if you come, the first thing you do when you approach them is shake them. You're liable to get a few stings. Now, a lot of times people shake them and they don't get stung at all, um, but it can happen. So um, I don't want to do it unless I have to. I don't want to shake them unless I have to, like that. Thank you, Donald. Cool on the hives. I'm always amazed at beekeepers. No gloves. As you see, I'm allergic to them, so they make me nervous. But they are pretty cool insects. Yeah, yeah. That has to suck when you're allergic to them. Um, try to bring up this other. other video. For whatever reason, don't want to. There it goes. There it goes. Anyway, that day I had about 11 box turtles. I'll probably put these videos up proper like at some point. CWB says, "Bro, you're out of the van. Did you get an apartment?" No, I'm at a hotel. Jeez, Donald. There have been reports, Donald, and up into this area actually. So hopefully I don't run across any of them. That'd suck. Tiny phone keys, huh? Yeah, there we go. Operator error. Jay says went outside and took pics of the eclipse. Bees are amazing critters. Yeah, I pulled so many turtles off the road that day. There was a snapping turtle, but I did not bring him back out there. I let him. What I did was I just took him. I was heading on the highway away from town, so I took him out of town with me until I found a place where there was a creek that he could go to, and hopefully the darn thing stays, out of the road. But anyway. And you can see this turtle up here is a mud turtle. He's a water turtle. But the rest of them are box turtles. It's that time of year when there's just so many of them crossing the roads, and there's some that I stopped, and you couldn't really tell that they'd been hit, but they had been hit. They were dead, So all you can do with those is leave them. Yeah, I like them, so I take them out where I stay. It's about 6 miles away from the nearest highway. Guess this video isn't great. Yeah, thank you. Turtle Whisperer. I guess. I don't know. I don't keep them. I don't keep anything for pets anymore, really. I used to keep a lot of reptiles for pets. Like I would have dozens of turtles every year, lots of snakes, lizards, and stuff like that. Man, there's some bad parts of this video. Anyway, at some point, Yeah, there I go. Going back over where the hives are at. Yeah, I needed one of those. Was an aquatic one, little brown, kind of flattish one. Was a mud turtle. Yeah, I used to do that too. Yeah, I had to move though. That's why there's cinder blocks laying there and stuff. I had to move the hive stand, and I just made a new one. Um, because it needed to be a little bit further away. There wasn't room behind them to get behind the hive, so I needed to fix that. But anyway, so I think on this one I end up opening the the hive on the right. On the other video, I opened the hive on the left, but this is the one that stung me 5 times when I shook them off that branch. But at this point, I'm not wearing any protective equipment. They're totally cool. And ready to start growing and making honey and propolis and pollen and wax. These make a bunch of shit that people use. Um, I don't really care for honey, so it isn't like I want to eat their honey. But maybe I'll end up selling some of it. And then I gotta order proper propolis collectors, and I'll put those on there. And you can sell propolis, and then pollen collectors also, and then you can sell pollen. So, and then also the wax. You can sell the wax. Oh, that's the thermal camera that plugs into this camera. It makes this into a thermal. Angel says you actually have a big heart, Lockbeard. That's cool. Do I, or am I just hurting turtles for turtle stew? Mr. Lee says, well, he says Lockbeard and Brandy. What's up, Mr. Lee? Oh, it's back over there. Did it restart? Yeah, it restarted. Now right after this, as I was walking back, um, as I was walking back from the hives, I saw this turtle up there, like checking me out. He was sitting up on the embankment looking at me. So I don't know if he was like saying thank you. This place looks cool. I could dig this joint. And he's gonna go on over the hill, I guess. I don't know if you can tell. It's really steep on the other side. Like you would be hard pressed to keep your footing. Yeah, he was just sitting up there looking at me. I was like, hmm. um, never need any boxes. I got buddies that makes them. Like, how cheap? Oh, this has got to go. There we go. You have any idea? Like, the price for hives, man, is stupid. Is it Dr. Doolittle night? I guess so. I suppose so. Uh, he says turtles have a gill-like structure called the cloaca that acts similar as gills, absorbs oxygen from the water. Anita says beeswax is awesome. I use it in the process of decorating Ukrainian Easter eggs. Huh. Cool. Not sure on the price, but you can call them tomorrow. Well, to tell you the truth, I really don't want to go with standard hives. They don't make any sense for me. They I don't know if you ever heard of a long Langstroth hive or a top bar hive. Like, I really like the idea of top bar hives, but the problem is is uh, is it's kind of hard to, if you want to sell like actual bee colonies, you want to sell a bee, you want to sell some bees to people. As far as what they call a nuke, you can't. You gotta have your standard Langstroth frames. You gotta have a deep Langstroth frames to sell them. As far as in a nuke, um, you could still sell package bees. Um, which package bees, what that is you're not sending any frames. A nuke is like a nucleus colony. You're sending them a box that has 5 frames that some of them have brood on them, some of them have honey and pollen. Um, so it's a nucleus colony. It's a small colony is what it really is. About 5 frames, half of what that bigger box was. Um, so it's probably the only limitation is like if I went to like top bar highs, I would not be able to sell nucleus colonies very easily. Um, wax wouldn't be a problem. Pollen wouldn't be a problem. Um, it, propolis would be problematic. So what I was thinking is going with a long uh, Langstroth hive. So it looks similar to those boxes. It's just longer with a lot more frames in it. So that's what I think I want to go with going forward. So the problem I can see is that the sides of the because it's so much longer, it's going to have a greater propensity for bowing out and making too much space beside those frames on the sides. you don't want too much space on those sides. Um, because then the bees will be trying to build stuff in there, and it could get it make things more problematic. What the hell? Like jumped. Sit there. So I think that's what I want to go with, though, is come up with some kind of a decent design for a long Langstroth hives, because it don't make any sense to stack boxes. And like, you have to completely tear a hive apart if you're going to do an inspection. Whereas if you build it as a long Langstroth, you open the lid and you just slide frames over as you're going through them, instead of just completely taking the whole box of the outer box of the hive apart. Um, Now, the problem comes with, like, in the wintertime, there could be an issue with, as the bees during the wintertime, the bees slowly creep up and eating as they go, and if they run out of food, there could be a problem. Well, that's one of the benefits of the stacked up hive, is they can move up into another box. But that's the problem with Langstroth hives, though. They need, of course, we're stuck with it because that's what people uses. That's where my problem is. I'm stuck with a design that I have to use if I'm going to do this as a business. The Langstroth frame, they're rectangular. You've seen them. Like, there's the deep ones. They're rectangular, and then there's mediums, and then there's the really shallow ones. But they're all rectangular. But what you need is really deep ones that make a square, because the bees build their the bees aren't thinking in terms of squares. That's not how they live. The only reason they're living in a cubicle or rectangular situation is because we're kind of forcing it upon them. What the bees do, no matter where they're at, is they build. If you look at the frames, you'll see circular pattern. It's because they build where their young is at. Their brood is shaped like a ball, and then as you move out from that ball, you'll start finding pollen and honey. Doesn't matter what the shape of the if they're in a log or if they're in a box. It doesn't matter. They're building in that globular structure. That's how they live. So it'd be better to have the deeper type of frame that's a full square, because then they can build their ball and it would be in just one set of frames, instead of having to move from one set of deep frames into another set of deep frames when they have a bigger brood nest. It's just, there's just so many problems with this design, but we're stuck with it. Oh yeah, Mr. Lee. Yeah, I'm trying to grow it back. You have a hangover? That implies you've been drinking, Mr. Lee, and drinking is not keto. The one you borrowed last year to help with apple trees was great for getting the honey. Well, if it looked anything like what I was just showing you, he has their Langstroth design. And they're good for like if the they do the migratory, where they load up beehives and take them places. So a long Langstroth wouldn't be near as conducive to that. Although I would have to argue that maybe it could be. if they designed them right, but there would still be some resistance to it. But the way I'm thinking of doing things, it just wouldn't be like normal. There's no reason to stack boxes. There just isn't any reason for it. Operator error again. Your own fault. Don't drink one too many. It sounds like you did. Yeah, he's using Langstroth. I mean, there might be some other motivate. There's a slight possibility of something a little different, War A Hive or something like that. But almost 99% certainty what he has is Langstroth hives, and it's kind of the standard what everybody uses. But I can never be satisfied with things like I don't like it. If you build a long Langstroth hive, it's or what some people call it, they'll call it like a horizontal hive. It's kind of like a top bar hive, only it accepts the dimensions are such that it can use Langstroth frames. So instead of adding boxes and taking boxes off and all that stuff, what you have is this box that's really long, and you have a divider board that serves as a temporary side. So you move it one way or the other depending on, are you trying to shrink the colony down or make the colony bigger? Instead of adding boxes, you just move that. It's called a follower board. And all your frames will be stored on the other side of the follower board that you'll be adding later. You can store all of your frames there, and a feeder in there, and everything's there. And I have some other ideas of doing things differently from what I've seen people do, but I don't want to say what some of them are just yet. We'll see how far this thing goes. Thing goes pretty far. I think I got some ideas to make shit a lot better, but I drank more than too many, says Mr. Lee. Jay says, sorry, bro, been there, done that too many times myself. Feel like someone shot me in the head. Whoa, man. Yeah, you gotta stop that drinking ain't doing you no favors. I got over that years ago. I just don't have any desire to drink. Just feel like I'm poisoning myself. Drink a shine. Well, it's done tonight, apparently. Or it was done for last night. I did not eat keto for dinner. I went ahead and had like a little bit of bacon and eggs and stuff this morning. So I was keto then and had like a low carb protein bar that's basic. It falls within the realm of keto. But I went to Olive Garden for dinner, so blew that shit way out of the water. I'll get back on it tomorrow. I got to, so I'll feel better. I'll feel better if I just stick to it. Miss Lee says, my girlfriend ain't talking to me neither. Donald, I was drinking with your doppelganger. What in the hell? Back to keto today. Sounds good thing, Mr. Lee. We both need to get back on keto. Stop playing around. Did you get the shot you requested? It's released as in the head, Donald? Yes. Donald says, I need to have a chat with my doppelganger. That drinking thing I got full of years ago. Garlic bread, Mr. Lee. I didn't eat the Olive Garden. Maybe not all Olive Gardens are like this, but they bring this flavorless little breadstick. Really, it looks like a damn breadstick, and it doesn't have any good flavor to it at all. It's just like some places, like, because I'm not big on bread, but occasionally you'll come across a restaurant, they'll bring you some bread that's actually pretty good with some real butter to put on it. That's not what you get at Olive Garden. So like the entree is damn good. The bread that they bring with every meal is crap. So I guess that's where they're cutting the corner, which is fine. I just don't eat the bread. And then they have the endless soup, and I usually get the chicken and gnocchi, which is kind of it's almost like it's a version of chicken and dumplings. So I kind of like that. But there is nothing keto about eating at Olive Garden, which sucks. Yeah, how's the eclipse going? Jay says, drink lots of water, Mr. Lee, a couple ibuprofen, potassium pill. You're dehydrated, bro. Don't eat anything, go to bed, and call me in the morning. Dr. Fritz has spoken. That's what I used to do when I was in college. Because I didn't like drinking beer. Beer tastes like crap, and you don't get nowhere. Like if I'm going to drink, damn it, I want to get somewhere, and might as well, if that's my goal, I might as well get there quick. So the first thing I'd order was a shot of 151, along with a Long Island iced tea, which is pretty much a shot on ice, a gigantic shot on ice. Drinking beer is just like making piss all night, is all it is. Like, don't hardly get nowhere with it. Just, it's the most worthless crap. And there were periods of a time when I was drinking every night. If the bar was open, I was drinking every night. The only reason I didn't drink Sunday is because the bar wasn't open, which proves I wasn't an alcoholic, because it was, it was a social thing. But then I'd get tired of the bar and stop going, and then not drink at all for months. And then I'd go back and forth like that here and there. But finally, I got fed up with drinking altogether. Bars are just so goddamn depressing places. They really are. The more I sat in them, the more I was like, what kind of sad existence is this fucking place? Look at this shit. This is goddamn ridiculous. And I just don't go to bars anymore. Donald says, I have a hang up on Subway's garlic herb and parm bread. Yeah. Danny says, I cheated out of the eclipse tonight. Total cloud cover. Well, somebody's got a camera on it. Right. Chill. Donald Fuller says, Bacardi was my best friend, Lockie. Bacardi, eh? This releases, I used to have good practice in drinking, but because I don't drink no more, I went 3 kinds of wild. Oh man, whiskey. Yeah. Yeah. You know, there's kind of this culture that's come about where people gotta drink a lot. You know, we probably like if you could just have like 1 glass of wine, you know, to you know to wind down your evening, you know, you might be in an all right place. But in our culture, people it's like we always got to tie one on. But like Jay was talking about the water, when I did go in, like I would have that, yeah, I'd have a shot of 151, and I'd start drinking Long Island iced teas and some other mixed drinks. But my favorite to drink was Long Island iced tea because it actually had some damn alcohol in it. And then, but towards the getting closing time coming, I would always order a glass of water. The bartenders, if because I like to kind of pick a place and stick with it, you know. So the bartenders would usually know me in places I went to, and they just knew I was going to have a glass of water. Of course, other people were like, "What the hell are you ordering water for?" I was like, "Because I'm smarter than the average bear. That's why." If I drink that glass of water, and I'll probably have some more water when I get home, I will not wake up with a hangover in the morning unless I really tied one on, and that got harder and harder to be the case as time went on because it's just kind of tolerance was built up, I guess. You got cheated out of it too, Donald. Anita says cloudy now here as well. Fanny. I assume she means Danny, or Donald, or yeah, Danny. Probably means Danny. We have a while yet, so maybe the clouds will pass. Jay says, "That's the truth, Lockbeard. Too much fucking drama in those taverns and bars." Yeah. Tim Boy says, "Long Island, all white, triple sec, splash of Coke for color." Yeah. You familiar with it? It sounds like. And he says, "Man, I'm changing everyone's name. Sorry, Danny." Drunk, so ignore the spelling. This releases Team Boy Patrick Vaughn says hello to, I'm sure. Drink a couple whiskeys and Coke most nights, but I hardly ever overindulge anymore. Hurts too much. I am going to give you some sound on this.
To grow our channel here.
There we go.
There are several crater patterns across the moon that also bring out sort of the Mickey Mouse look. This crater over here, this impact zone you're seeing, is one of my favorites. It's just one crater, but it has this sort of tri-star shape to it. It's called Proclus. And then down here is, of course, crater Tycho, the huge impact zone on the moon. Copernicus crater, I think, is right about here. I wonder if we can expose that a little better. Let's bring up my exposure level. We're bringing it up to 10 seconds to see if we can pull out some of that more shadowed detail in the moon. Liz Matters asks, why isn't there a corona? Oh my gosh. I think your question, I'm sorry, I lost it in the scroll here. I tried to scroll to it and it ran away from me. But I think the question was, why does the corona, why isn't there a corona around the moon like there is around the sun? And that's a brilliant question. It sort of gets down to how these eclipse events work. During a lunar eclipse, this is purely just the moon entering the Earth's shadow. There's no light source behind it. In fact, the red color is just coming from very indirect sunlight passing through our atmosphere and projecting onto the moon. It's refracted light from our atmosphere. It's this sort of atmospheric glow, and that red color is this there for the same reason that we have sunset, pink and red sunsets and sunrises. So all of that light that we're seeing, it's not light from the moon per se. It's reflected light off the surface of the moon. So just indirect sunlight, more or less. Now this is in contrast to the solar eclipse, where the moon passes in front of the sun. And when the moon can fully cover the disk of the sun, that's when you see what you're talking about there, the corona around the edge, the rim of the new moon. That corona is the atmosphere of the sun. It's there all the time, but we can only see it during a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse event like that, because otherwise the disk of the sun is just too bright. The corona is much dimmer than the disk of the sun, the actual surface, the photosphere. So we can never see it in just a regular day. Even trying to detect it in a telescope with filters is a real challenge. Now, of course, you never want to look at the sun in the sky with just your eye. Either way, it's just too bright and you can damage your vision. Definitely not through a telescope either, unless you have equipment like we do that can filter out that light and show you the photosphere safely. The photosphere, again, is the surface of the sun. So that contrast is just too great. The contrast between the brightness of the corona, which is much dimmer than the photosphere of the sun. And in fact, solar eclipses, true total solar eclipses, are great examples of a time to study that that corona, that atmosphere of the sun, because you can actually visualize it, you can see it. Now, that's one event I have not seen myself as a total solar eclipse. And I am very much looking forward to the total solar eclipse event in 2024. At Copernicus location, it should be about 97% coverage. So that means the moon is covering 97% of the disk of the sun. The sun, the side of the sun that we can see at that time. So that's really good, but it's not good enough to safely view. As long as there's a sliver of pure sunlight, it's not safe to look at the moon and observe it, especially through a telescope, and you definitely don't want to stare at it with your eye. So you have to go a little up north. I think Rochester area should be totality. That's Rochester, New York. In that zone of New York, that's where we'll be able to capture totality. So I'm very much looking forward to that event coming up in the next couple years. The last one that we saw at a nice convenient time was 2017. That happened during the day, midday, and that one was that one was pretty good. I can't remember exactly. Was it 2/3, maybe 3/4 coverage, something like that? The solar eclipse that happened in June was also pretty nice, but you had to wake up this was last June, 2021. You had to wake up pretty early for that one. That was like 5 a.m. We did do a stream that you can check out if you'd like. The recording is in our channel, in our uploads. So feel free to check that out on our channel. Great question there. I'm going to refresh the page so I can access some new chat. New chats coming through. Let's just get rid of that. Oh, top. Hang on. Yes. Top Jimmy makes an interesting comment. It says, if you were on the moon, you might see a corona, and it's
Back.
possible you might be able to detect some of it. I can't speak to that 100% because the Earth is obviously a lot larger in the sky when you're on the surface of the moon compared to when you're seeing the moon in our sky during a solar eclipse.
Audio.
That's what's kind of nice is the moon is roughly like.
Did you learn anything? Yeah, I can't find him much anymore, Mr. Lee, says Timmy Boy. Where's he gone, strange man? Well, he's blocked me as well, fellas. I guess he can't handle people questioning his authority on the matter of Sasquatch. Donald says I have have to change channels to see Mr. Vaughn in the chat now. Yeah, he's hiding. What a coward about trying to hide behind his BS. Yeah, what good is it doing for him to hide? Is he afraid that you might, comment on whatever bullshit he's spouting? I mean, he's revealed himself. Patrick Vaughn, when you hide like that in the chat, you reveal that you have something to hide. You might as well just stand up and say, hey, I'm full of shit. That's why I got to block people. That's what you're doing. All you're doing is proving people correct about you. That's what you're doing. So, sorry, dude. You seemed nice enough, but you were a little heavy with the band hammer. And now you're acting like someone that has something to hide. So yeah. Mr. Lee says Mr. Pat don't have Vaughn on the show no more. Nope. Something happened there. Not sure exactly what, but something happened there. What kind of BS? Well, you know by now, I'm sure, Mr. Lee. Jay says, wish he hadn't left my ugly mug up there. Oh, was was your comment the one that was up there? Donald says, Mr. Lee, it's because he was blocking anyone who questions his narrative. Yeah. Donald says, Mr. Lee 3PO, his knock theory is BS. Oh, by the way, speaking of people blocking folks, where was I at? For some reason, I'm not remembering the name of the channel. I'll remember in a second. But y'all may remember I had some issues with Cashew. I showed up at this show in the chat, and all I did was put the Jolly Roger flag icon. And I didn't say any words. I just put the Jolly Roger icon flag, in a chat and hit enter. I didn't say anything. But Cashew was there. Cashew was a mod. I was immediately blocked. Immediately. I didn't say a single word in English. I just posted the Jolly Roger. Miss Lee says, "Oh, what narrative, Donald, is that? Donald, is it thought? Is it though? How can you tell?" Tin Boy says, "No, it's not strange to me. People that latch on to legit channels with extraordinary claims and no evidence, it gets old quickly, especially when you can't handle simple questions." Yeah, and I think that's a whole phenomenon in this stuff by itself. Is these guys with bullshit will come to the channels that are have a reputation for no bullshit, and then try to ingratiate themselves there, get invited on as guests, and to get to suck on that legitimacy and try to make themselves seem legitimate while they push their agenda, their bullshit agenda. And it appears that that's what Patrick Vaughn was. So another one bites the dust. Anything that comes out of his mouth is BS as far as I'm concerned. He has zero evidence on his Facebook, but says it's all there. Yeah. But he says he has an equation, Donald. It sounds smart when you say, "I have an equation." He didn't. I don't know how he can call it an equation. I mean, do you have, definable variables or constants, even for that matter? Show us this equation, Mr. Vaughn. Show us this equation. And also prove this single knock theory. I have a feeling that Patrick Vaughn is just knocking and getting echoes. Or maybe he's straight up full of shit. I don't know. But he's proven it by blocking everybody. He can't if he hasn't got truth on his side, then he can't withstand questioning. And so he has to hide from the questioning. And as a mod, he was blocking people for questioning. Mr. Lee says, "I seem to be missing a lot on Facebook, it seems." Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't. I haven't. I don't think I've had any interaction with Patrick Vaughn on Facebook. I've tried to avoid Facebook. I'd like Facebook to fucking die, is what I would like. But I kind of need it right now because I'm still in the market for goats and bee swarms and some other things. So I'm kind of, and then of course, as something to help with like business, it's good. But if you get caught up in all the drama and the bullshit, you'll get sucked into Facebook and you'll be like, "What the fuck happened? I just wasted all day talking to a bunch of dipshits whose opinion really doesn't matter to me. I'm sure it matters to somebody, but it doesn't the fuck matter to me. So why am I even talking to these jackasses?" you know. Donald says, "Mr. Lee, there is nothing there for evidence on his page." Mr. Lee, didn't you see the turtles earlier? I thought you saw the turtles earlier. Let's hit this guy. He don't want to sit still. He wants to crawl all over the place. Yeah, I should have went and grabbed them some strawberries or something. They'd love strawberries. I'd still kind of want to plant some strawberries somewhere because the bees will pollinate the flowers, and then the turtles can come up and eat the berries. Although the cows probably will nibble on them too, I'm sure. He makes his own moccasins. Well, at least he can make shoes, I guess. Maybe he does have a use. Jay says, "You guys know my story. Nobody was in the woods any more than I was when I was younger. I was leery of all the encounters he said he had himself. Just never say it. Just never said anything. Well, he wants to. I don't know why. I don't know why he wants to push this idea that Bigfoot can cloak, but he does. He's convinced that he saw one cloak. You know, now I don't have any doubt that maybe that's what he really believes. That's what he saw, but he will not entertain the possibility that maybe he was mistaken. You know, maybe it was just that dark. Um, Maybe when he encountered this thing, he was in such shock that his brain, he just blacked out for a few moments, and that few moments was all that was necessary for that Bigfoot to get out of sight. And then when his ass rebooted and came back to his senses, there was no Sasquatch standing there, and he thinks it just vanished out of nowhere. But instead, he kind of like blacked out. They may have stood standing, but he may have been so shocked that he blacked out. You know, that's far more believable scenario than the damn thing just disappeared. So, you know, the people are finding that hard to believe, and he just cannot accept that people will not believe that pretty extraordinary claim. Tanny Boy says, "Go watch Bigfoot Explorer. He used him to get his claims out when the expedition started. You could see he's absolutely no third generation tracker. And when people see that and ask about it, blocked every time. Go watch Bigfoot. Huh. So he's bullshitting about being a great tracker as well, huh?" Donald says, Jay Fitz, your experience was something like mine. I don't question you at all, but Vaughn claims 30 interactions and can't show any evidence at all. Yeah, that's another thing. These people that seem to be having tons of interactions and claim that this is due to their skill as a Bigfoot researcher or investigator or tracker or whatever word they want to use. You know, they're special somehow. They want you to believe they're special. That just adds to it on top of the cloaking claim. And then, like when he was claiming, I think he was claiming that he witnessed some Bigfoots breeding. Again, he's has all these fantastic experiences, zero evidence for anything. And but meanwhile, we got Jay, who he also has zero evidence, but his story is believable. He isn't saying he saw one disappear into thin air after it screwed another one and he's seen it 30 times. He's not saying anything. It's just this pretty damn fantastical. He's saying he saw one once chasing some game. Joe is the same thing. A single interaction. Even if it was 2 or 3 interactions, at least it would just be, I saw a big hairy dude in the woods. And he was hunting. That makes sense. The Sasquatch person is distracted with the hunt and is accidentally, allows himself to be seen by a human being. It's a believable story. It doesn't involve any hocus pocus, and it isn't 30 interactions like this. So, we don't feel any reason to question that, and I don't think Jay would really care if we did. He'd be like, "Well, I saw what I saw. You believe me or not?" Tin Boy says he blocked me and several other people from Pat's show. He blocked them on every show he was a mod on. What is he claiming? The stuff we just said. Donald says that's interesting, Lockbeard. What did I say? Mr. Lee says some people are mods and hide in the chats. I don't get it, man. They're just, I don't know. Donald says he has his knock theory with zero evidence to support it. Oh, he claims Iron Dogger has been able to replicate it, hasn't he? But Iron Dogger has jumped over, like she left Mogs. See, this is why I feel like, because, I feel like Mogs, even though Mogs tries to maintain neutral ground, he still seems to be on the side of the issue, like keeping it real. And so she started out on Moog's show, and then I don't know if this is. I think he's trying to keep it cool. But she did jump ship on him, from what I've seen, for what we saw, and went over to Bullshit Odyssey. Well, surely she knew that that was going to be a controversial move. You know, it's Bullshit Odyssey. um, so, Mr. Lee says, I have not been on Facebook for over 8 years. It's full of braggers. Yeah, you don't want to be on Facebook, really, dude. Yeah. Turtle. I don't know what his. I really don't know what he wants. I'm sure he wants to be back in the woods, but you gotta wait till we get back tomorrow. Um, Hopefully, he didn't want to be sitting in the middle of a highway, which is where I found him, and possibly squished like a lot of his friends. Anita says, Mr. Lee, I have had to deal with some crummy folks in the Bigfoot community, so I do not really share any of my gifts or experiences anymore with anyone. It's just not worth it anymore. Big egos. Pine Island is here. Welcome. We got Turtle for a co-host. Yep. This guy is not scared of anything, even his own image. Yep. Turtle string. Yep. Mr. Lee says, maybe Vaughn is telling the truth, though. You don't know, really. Well, nobody's proven to me that anything else can just cloak like that. And there's just things that just are funny concerning Patrick Vaughn, as Danny, uh, um, or I'm sorry, Donald will tell you, and Timmy Boy will tell you. Something don't smell right with Patrick Vaughn. His claims are just too extraordinary, and he can't provide any evidence. Everybody say hello to Jeff. Mr. Lee says Muggs was a mod on Bigfoot Odyssey and Curry sacked him. Not cool to do to my man Muggs. Yeah, that just adds to it, Mr. Lee. I mean, so how is Iron Dogger feel like it's okay to jump off Moog's show over to Bigfoot Odyssey, considering everything? It's not okay, and that's why some people are upset. and feel like it's a betrayal. Donald says, Mr. Lee, if I had the ability to track the animal down, watch it screw, I would have a way to film that. Yeah. Yeah, if he can reliably communicate with it, well, can he prove this to somebody? You know, if he can see it 30 times or interact with it 30 times, surely he could prove this to somebody. If cloaking is real, you would think we would have observed it in some kind of creature somewhere on this planet, but we have not. Rutha says, what's up, meat sacks? Lowriders here, welcome. It says, when your best friends are Johnny, Jim, and Jack, Walker, Beam, and Daniels, everything is possible when it comes to Bigfoot. Good day, good day. That turtle, you won't eat him, Lockbeard? No, I don't. I would never eat a turtle. I mean, unless I was really hungry. But no, I catch turtles off the roads and release them, Mr. Lee. I guess you, like, I don't know, earlier I showed some video where I was releasing some turtles and showed these guys. These guys, because I wasn't heading back to the farm today, but I just couldn't pass these guys up on the road. So I figured, well, they'll go on a trip with me. We'll go to this other town, stay a night in a hotel, chill, and have a turtle stream. Anita says, that little guy is giving us the eye, Lockbeard. Yeah, he's keeping an eye on shit. I don't know what his game is. If he grabs me by the jugular, this video better get 1 million views. Yeah. I don't know if I want to turn him around. I don't know what his plan is. Tim Boy says he wants to be liked by people. I really believe it's that simple. The more people that asked him his opinion, the more he told these stories. Attention was what he wanted. Kind of sad. Full blood flower moon. It's a lunar eclipse, man. You better be careful. You fell off a while ago. Donald says, Mr. Lee, he sacked me off the mods, then blocked me. He's going somewhere, I guess. He's on the table now. Pine Island says, if he talked about his claims in a theoretical aspect, I'd be okay with it. When he refers to his theories about knocking ECC and represents it as fact, that's not fair to our community. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I did not know that, man. Yeah, Mr. Lee, we've got some snakes in the grass, man. Jeff says it misleads a lot of people. Too stupid to understand that there are no facts. Ruthless says turtle soup should be illegal. Well, I don't know if it should be illegal, but the turtles, like the box turtles, the biologists tell us that their numbers are are getting lower, because of humans, messing with things. Um, but yeah, so I save some when I can from the road and take them out to the farm. Cause most of them I get off like major highways where they're almost certainly going to die if I don't get them. Like there's one I saw on the road, maybe a mile from the farm this morning, and I wasn't planning on coming back today. So I was like, well, it's Sunday morning. Traffic's is low. This road is where I'm at the moment was really low traffic, and the turtle was already because he was heading, you can see which way he's going, and he only had 2 more feet to go to get off the road. So I had to go over into the other lane to go around him. But so I left him be. He was 5 miles from a highway, but he was on a road. But then I got into town, and on the highway I found these two. So I went ahead and picked them up. Nita says, like, yeah, Lockbeard is the turtle whisperer. I was painted number 2. Yeah, ain't that the shit? Ain't that the shit right there? You were paying member. Jay Fritz says, agreed, Jeff. To me, he was just trying too hard to convince us all. Ruthless says, yes, it's all about the audience. No right. Pay for what membership? Yeah, man. Bigfoot Odyssey membership, Mr. Lee. Jay says, crap, iPad is almost dead. Be right back. Why does the chat keep jumping around on me? Well, he thinks it's a parrot. I don't know about that. He just won't stop crawling. The other one, on the other hand, is pretty much spooked by the whole situation. Which just is good. Like if he gets attacked by some kind of predator in the woods, this is what he needs to be doing: is going on lockdown, like a turtle's designed to. But on the highway, that doesn't help a turtle. It just leaves him on the highway for an extended period of time, increasing his chances of getting hit. So the other turtle's looking at me now. He's like, well, hey, that's my shoulder. Oh, good gosh. There. Is he drunk? I don't know if he's drunk, Mr. Lee. Snakes in the grass. Yeah, some people trying to act like they're legit, but they're not. No way, he says. Squatching Cowboy, welcome. He says, how do y'all Lockbeard, Mr. Lee, Ruthless, and everybody? Typos piss you off. Sky too cloudy to see the moon. Mr. Lee says, Ruthless, I have plenty of practice. You want a drinking competition or what? He's getting some beers for the cowboy. Prefer the disingenuous ignore me, mate. Timmy Boy says, and if Iron Dogger told me it's raining, I'm going to the beach. Now that is my opinion of her, but I don't know her at all. But because Patrick was only 2 hours from me, I started to research him because I I feel like there should be more to this, but I don't see it. I don't see. I don't see any more to your comment, Timmy boy. Mr. Lee says, Ruthless, okay, I will ignore you. No, I won't. I pay a pittance for the good stuff. Ruthless says, Tattooed Monkey. Yeah, Tattooed Monkey. Back, you lucky people. Says Jay. Danny says he's probably heard stories from other turtle survivors about the whole stew thing. Maybe he has. There will be no stew made from these turtles, though. Ruthless says, Mr. Lee, I've been on internet a very long time. I'm tired of people sucking up and flipping on the basis of their friends. I can't handle bias. Mr. Lee says, what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise, Lockbeard? That's a whole nother thing, man. Dude, still covering lunar eclipse. I guess I'll leave the lunar eclipse up there. Trying to catch up with the chat here. I do enjoy bios. Seriously though, Lockbeard, thank you for helping those little critters out. I wish more folks did that. Yeah, me too. My shadow has a lizard. Ashley says, yes, indeed, the Lockbeard, he cool, man. Tim Boyce's goal was to see one right, but the more you look, the more you find he's not out what he tells you he is, and you can't tell me anything after I find out that. Anita says, Mr. Lee, a tortoise is mostly on land. A turtle is aquatic most of the time. Yeah, basically it. But a lot of people, when they see a tortoise, they'll just still call it a turtle. You know, it's just kind of, they don't know what the difference is, and whatever. These here is box turtles. Rutha says, Lockbeard, will you be friends with my cats? I guess your cat's going to be friends with me. Jay says Lockbeard is a good conservationist. Well, I do what I can. I burned a lot of gas. I can only do so much. I burned a lot of gas, especially bringing in that 11 turtle haul off of some pretty dangerous highways, and it's dangerous. Like, you got to be careful getting on and off. On the shoulder, and you got to be able to pull far enough off, and then you just got to hope that there's a break in the traffic, because you can't just go out in the traffic. But hold on a second, let me get the power going here. And then people honk. Like, on occasion, people will honk at me when I'm doing this. So I don't know if they're like honking in support, or if they are irritated that I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't know. People are funny sometimes, so I'm not sure how to take it. Shit posts like me. Ruthless says they will send you fascist book friends requests. Donald says, if I could help the turtles by me, I would, but they cross on a blind corner and idiots drive through there way too fast. Yeah. Yeah. I think we should just build a lot more roads, elevated a little bit at least, or with an edge on them that the turtles can't get past. Even if the road isn't elevated, like you have those concrete um, like sides on the road or whatever they call those. But usually there's gaps, like gaps along the bottom. But if they just made that without gaps, if it only has to be like a little straight uh, something that the turtles can't get onto the road, and are forced to go down along that until there's a culvert, and just put in extra culverts here and there. When you're building the road, that would probably do a lot. The turtles look happy. Lockbeard, I bet your Imperial van is guzzling the petrol, man. Well, it doesn't have the greatest gas mileage. I think Facebook page for the turtles. I guess. I guess so. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I'd have enough material to put on there, but capsule dividers. Yeah. Well, down the middle, like they have those those things that are almost waist high. Those concrete things, like on the turnpike or the toll road. So people can't turn around. There are some gaps where I guess the cops use to turn around, but those are so few and far between. So when a turtle gets across that first 2 lanes of traffic, he runs into this concrete barrier that he cannot pass. So he's got to turn back around and go back across the same 2 lanes. So even if he didn't have to do that, he would still have 2 more lanes to cross. The turtle's freaking doomed. Ruthless says they're saying they're going to tunnel through mountains here towards Katoomba. Bastages. Is that like is that a bad thing? Like, are they if they put a road through a mountain, at least it's not destroying everything on the surface of the mountain, going over it or around the mountain. Probably is what they would do. So a tunnel through the mountain, I would feel, would be that segment of that road would be less of an impact on the natural habitat of that area than if they built the road around the mountain and destroyed, all the habitat in that path on the surface. Squashing Cowboy says 51-day jail on Facebook. Yeah, it was brought up. People brought that up. Like they were asking about your situation there. Sandra says, I would hope people would admire you for taking the time to save turtles. Well, I just always liked turtles. In my hometown, we had turtle races once a year. Rutha says we have plenty of concrete dividers on tollways here. Oh, the chat keeps jumping on me. There's roads already. Oh, the roads, so they don't really need to make a new road. So, I mean, why are they putting it through the mountain then? Like,
like if there's already roads in place, there must be some pressing need, or it's worth it to them or something. I mean, one good thing about a road through a mountain is it's never going to get covered in ice inside the mountain, probably. Probably. Could be wrong under certain circumstances there. Mr. Lee admires Lockbeard anyway. First world problem, says Ruthless. Troy says, what is it with May and box turtles on the road? My mom told me that happened a lot in Ohio. It's just spring. It's time for them to move around and do turtle stuff. Turtles really got to do turtle stuff. So, they're moving around, looking for mates, laying eggs, looking for food. Turtle stuff. Squatch Cowboy says, they say I posted a video someone complained about. I wonder who. Oh, who knows, man. Could be anybody. Jay Fritz says, wish it wasn't so late. I'm craving double cheeseburger homemade. Ruthless says, the Squatching Cowboy, make a backup and clone your friends list. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's up with your caps. Squash Cowboy says, and a meme about the way you should cut a bagel. Well, there's ways to cut a bagel that some may consider offensive. Make up with old bears, though. Old bear, you can make up with old bear, though. Why should he? I don't know why he has to. Like Scotch Cowboy says, laugh my ass, Mr. Lee, not happening until he apologizes. Well, whatever happens with the scenario, I am still very amused by the fact that he calls himself Old Bear, and yet he wants to bitch about someone calling him old. So I'm not going to apologize at all for this.
Fuck, you're old. Fuck, you're old.
Yes, Old Bear, you're old. Ruthless says they're doing it to feed greedy developers, and road tunnel makes for pay as you use. They say it will be free, but they always say that. Will the normal roads still be available? Turtling. Yep. Turtles be turtling. Time for turtle nasty. Yeah, turtles do nasty. You ever look up some videos of turtles doing the nasty. You will laugh. If you've never seen it before on a documentary or in person, it's funny. Must be getting late there, Lucky. Yeah, it's midnight here. Boy says Lockbeard it's built back better, right? So let's go through the mountains. Better make like a tree and leave. Donald says, getting late for me, Lucky. I got to lay down. Great show. Night, friends. Good night, Donald. Cowboy says, you stick your finger through it and cut it. Huh? Not, oh, I think you're talking about This is a coffee looking good with Robert Timms. Take voices later, Donald. Chat just, I don't know why the chat jumps around like that. Rutha says, LOL, oh, Bear don't like being called old. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, that's why I'm making fun of him. And I'm not going to apologize for it. He deserves it. You don't call yourself Old Bear and then get mad when someone calls you old. Stir the pot, Lockbeard, says Anita. Rutha says, yeah, that they're well established roads. Yes, winding, but digging through natural habitat for convenience is just wrong. Well, what if they could restore the old roads to natural habitat and then you could use the tunnel? Because the tunnel, like, there's really no habitat inside the solid rock, right? So it would seem like that road, the tunneled road, would be less impactful on the environment than the existing roads, as long as you were to restore the existing roads to natural habitat and replace them with the tunnel. But I don't know. Without knowing everything about the scenario, it's hard to say. Oh, about the bagel. Oh, Ruthless says, thanks for having me, Lucky. See you in some comments on Facebook. Hello, crazy ex-girlfriends. Yeah. You're welcome, Ruthless. You were in psychic violence. Well, what do they expect of a cowboy? You gotta shoot them up and smoke them out. Miss Lee says, my brother's girlfriend is awful and he's marrying her. Oh no, man, I have to walk her down the aisle. Do you? You don't like her? Can't y'all vote? Like, do we really want this chick in the family? This turtle wants a vote. I wonder if he recognizes himself on the screen. Do turtles recognize themselves? I don't know. Oh, we've got a bot. Got a bot. Goodbye, bot. Goodbye. Ruthless says, true, but it's a second bite of the cherry with impact on flora and fauna. Ruthless says, okay, dokies, I'm ligging it. Take care, folks. You too, Ruthless. Be good to each other, he says. Anita says, going to scoot now, guys. Have early chemotherapy appointment tomorrow. Everyone have a good night. You too, Anita. Mr. Lee says, I don't like her, no. Yeah, I spotted them, Mr. Lee. Joe says, here we go. Sandra says, good night, Anita. Get some rest and see you tomorrow, my friend. Jay says, wait, I was clicking on it, Dan. Oh, you don't want to click on that, I'm sure. This guy just wants to climb and climb. All right. It's gonna put you back in the bucket. You're gonna wear yourself out. Tomorrow you got a hike. You're gonna have quite a hike on your hands. Some territory to explore. You too. Oh, a turtle popped out. Mr. Lee or Mr. Lee 3PO trip her. LOL. Tripper. It looks like we're moving out of the shadow of the earth. Yep. Prehistoric, all right. Prehistoric. Mr. Lee says, Jay, I wish I could, but I don't want to ruin my brother's day. Yeah, I am. I am, cowboy. I was hoping this turtle will tame down a little bit better. I think it's figured out I don't want to hurt it. But it's not quite letting me rub his neck. A lot of times they'll let you rub their neck when they get really comfortable with you. And he's not 100% down with it yet. Yeah, I'll just put him back in the bucket. He'll need to go to sleep. Looks like a member of KISS. Yeah. Some of them have some pretty striking white markings on their faces. That one's pretty good. Is there something about a turtle you just can't resist, says Sandra? Yeah. Yeah, they are cool, Mr. Lee. Well, shoot. Oh, I was going to try and bring up, I think I had another, video. Yeah. That was another day. I brought home 3 that day. Mr. Lee says, you got some salad or something for them to eat? Mr. Lee, I looked for some downstairs, but they didn't have any. They're turtles, though. Like, they can go, a few days without eating. And so they'll be all right till tomorrow. It'll only be 24 hours. But I was planning on getting them something, but there wasn't anything. All they have down there is like cereal and crap. Jay says turtles would be even cuter if they had bobbleheads. Yeah, perhaps. Question Cowboy says, "Hey Lock, show the video of bear I sent you." A bear. Was it on? Yeah, see, like it's real. I don't think the camera does justice to how steep it is going down that hill. Yeah, you can't hardly see anything, but it's real steep. Did I not? I guess I didn't show it. Let me see if I can figure that out. That wasn't a very exciting turtle video. Those two were just too spooked. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. You sent me the clip, and then from there you can go to the full video. And Nikki sent me the full video as well. Let me see here. Should be coming up.
Elaborate on Janice's premonition about you? Just any kind of details?
Well, she's right. I have had to shoot 3 Bigfoot in my life.
Wow.
One was to save.
Elaborate on Janice's premonition about you? Just any kind of details?
Well, she's right. I have had to shoot 3 Bigfoot in my life.
Wow.
One was to save.
Elaborate on Janice's premonition about you? Just any kind of details?
Well, she's right. I have had to shoot 3 Bigfoot in my life.
Wow.
One was to save.
Elaborate on Janice's premonition about you? Just any kind of details?
Well, she's right. I have had to shoot 3 Bigfoot in my life.
Wow.
One was to save, and I'm going to use you for instance. Young lady, her size, her hair color was 10 feet in front of me, and her boyfriend was 20 feet in front of her. And it was right at dark. A Bigfoot reached out to grab her by the hair of the head, or grab her by her head, actually. And when it reached out to grab her and almost touched her, I had to shoot it. Because, first off, the area that we was in was known to have aggressive Bigfoot. Not the Janoska or Gugway, not the ones that hunt you, but the ones that will harm you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
In order to protect her life, I had to shoot this
Were you out researching or just walking?
We were out being Bigfooters.
And did you see any blood splatter? Do you know you hit it? That one specifically?
Yeah, I know I hit it.
Okay.
What'd you shoot it? 300 Win mag.
What'd you do with the body?
Nothing. Whenever I let that round off, my buddy turned around and came running back to her, grabbed her because she was screaming and frozen in place at the same time. Grabbed her, took her to the truck, and I followed, walking backwards to the truck. We left. When something like that happens, you don't want to be in the area because there's not just one.
Out of the five you described, what would you consider like the stock?
Type 4. Good boy.
What about Yahoo?
Yahoo, type 2s. Because most of them have a pronounced brow ridge. And, you know, they're just a bunch of good old hillbilly boys that don't want to be bothered. You got so many common hillbilly back, right? Bigfoot.
Yahoo Greg.
So of the three that you killed, left them laying,
Everyone.
that was
Still back and they were gone. When we came, I went back 2 days later, and there was nothing of that Bigfoot laying there. All I found was a little bit of that. I never forget the story about you telling about your mentor, him there attacking. Mm-hmm. The first really negative, I guess, thing that happened. That story. Yeah, I dreamed about that story. That happened to me when I was in my early 30s. That was part of your series of things to say 30 years of Bigfoot. Well, I want to verify your story on your farm. My mom's hair, she dyed her hair because I got this bud right here. Started off, he's Bigfoot, comes banging on her trailer. That's how it started. They bang on her trailer. Next day.
Miss Lee, because there were I don't buy it. I don't believe him. It's it's another case of someone claiming multiple extraordinary accounts or encounters, and in no evidence. So he's gonna have to, like, how in the hell can you explain that you shot 3 of these things and you ain't got so much as a blood sample, as Cowboy states here? How does he tuck that shirt in? He does have a bit of some Dunlap there. Oh, these stupid. Why didn't it go away? There it goes. Yeah. Dang trolls. All right. Or spam or whatever they are. Bots. Think it's a onesie. Yeah, he's got a lot of Dunlap going on there. Troy says, very carefully. Yeah, old bear. He needs the keto. He might, or maybe he could hibernate like a bear, because bears hibernate and use up all their fat while they're hibernating. Hurry, Jay. Oh, first the bot gets blocked again. Jay says, I'm sorry, I have no idea who this guy is, but I'm calling bullshit. See? Jay has spoken. Yeah, that guy. He's the Old Bears Den of Bigfoot channel. Old Bears Den of Bigfoot. And anyway, that Saturday before last, the where it was titled Cowboy Diplomacy. This is who it's about. Like, he was talking crap about Cowboy. See if you'll get that for us. Mr. Lee says, I'm blocking it, Lockbeard. How you mean for your own personal? Yeah, because you're not a mod. You were a mod on the other channel, on my other channel, but you wanted to not be a mod, so you're not a mod anywhere. Jay says, no, a man that side would last in the woods very long. Yeah, he got lots of. He's got lots to live on, but he's also got lots that something else could eat. Sandra Piper says, Lockbeard, it is true. Other turtles will come to help a turtle that has slipped over on its back. Well, I've seen like video. So, I don't know like how far that goes. Like the water turtles video where the water turtle's turned over and he's floating on the top, and then all these other water turtles come towards him, and then he's able to put his head against one of those turtles to flip himself over. The other turtles didn't actually flip him over, but because they came over there, they gave him the opportunity to flip himself over by bracing his head against one of them. So did they come over there to help him, or did they come over there because they thought there was something splashing in the water that they could eat? Maybe they intended to eat him. Like, they were like, hey, this dude's he's on his back, he can't defend himself, let's eat him. But luckily he turned over. I don't know. Get rid of that bot. Another bot. Yeah, there are no mods on this channel, so I don't know what Mr. Lee plans to do. Mr. Lee says you can Lockbeard even if you're not modded. Yeah, you block them from you being able to see them, but everyone else can still see them. So, like with Mank, if somebody don't want to see what Mank says, you can block him so that you don't see him. Now, he might show up and then you see us talking to him, and then you may want to unblock him because you want to see what he's saying. Cowboy says, damn. Jay, you seen that it was cool where the turtles came and the one flipped over off of them? Is that what you're talking about? Jay says, Sandra, I saw that the other day, like 20 of them flipped one over. Yeah. I don't know just how far that kind of behavior goes. I mean, you never know. You never know. A lot of times where there's species of turtles where the males, when they're fighting, over other females. The goal of the match, the fight is to flip the other turtle over. Now he can turn himself back over typically, but that's the goal. But yeah, this water one, there's some land ones here. I don't know. I don't recall ever seeing it happen, but and I've had a lot of turtles, but who knows? Maybe I wasn't paying attention to that kind of stuff, but usually when a turtle gets flipped over, he can flip himself over. So it's kind of not needed for other ones to help him. But I guess there's one. So he flipped him over. How about this one? Seen that was cool. The water turtles. It's good to think it anyways. Jay says it was on a video lock. Yeah, I saw that video. I think I might be able to pull it up here in a second. What are you doing? Putting that on high speed? That seems awful fast.
Please take 1 second to support me by share and like to keep sharing. We believe you.
Become the Hokage.
Yes. You can become the Hokage. Don't stop.
That's a bio. Look at this guy over here, just like letting him suffer at all. What a dick.
I mean, look how fast he going now.
Oh, there's another one right there.
Oh, yeah. I thought there was another one somewhere. I think they're going to help him.
Dude, okay.
I'm going to stay here and film this.
Hi, it's Cameron Reynolds. Here we are at our honey yard, and I'm going through this colony right here. And I wanted to show you a little trick. We're going to get into the hive and inspect it here in just a second. But
and don't be a dick and be like, nah, I don't need your help, nigga. No, accept that fucking help.
Just how did you get yourself like that in the first place,
Honestly,
dude?
that's so weird. Oh my god. That poor baby. Oh, that poor baby. Oh my god, this poor turtle.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Look at them.
Oh my god.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Come on.
Dude.
You can do it. Oh my god, he's helping him. You can do it.
That is so beautiful.
You can do it.
What are you doing, dude? You're like, I don't see what you're trying to achieve here. Like, are you just walking past, like,
I think he's walking to the other. I don't know what he's doing. Come on. Teenage Mutant Ninja. This is why you need Master Splinter. Look at this. This is a kung fu move gone wrong. Look what happened now. Come on. You can do it.
dude. Oh my god.
Oh my God. Are they doing it?
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We did it.
Oh, teamwork. I'm so happy he has friends. Oh,
Lois Samos.
bless that child. Lois Samos. We did it. Dun, 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 dun.
God dang, man.
Ah, yes.
That is so amazing.
That was so cool, and I captured all of that.
I'm glad to see this in the year of our Lord 2014.
I can't. Trying to flip the other one over. All right, I'm gonna hold it for you. That's kind of funny.
That's cute. I saw it again. I saw it already. Take them.
It felt right.
Keep going. That's true. No. They about to push it over. Look.
Come on, go, keep going. He's like, you can do it. You can do it.
Almost.
And the funny garbage
Oh, that's
can
awesome.
somewhere around. Oh yeah! We got him over, yay! And now he's so tired.
Brother, all from brother.
You think he had hair or not?
Yeah, I guess they do. It depends on what kind of turtle, Mr. Lee. There's all kinds. All kinds. Yeah, those big tortoises. Cowboy says, looks like he just wanted some. Yeah, that one. Yeah, he may have been like, turn this girl over. Massive, yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of the I don't remember, like I think the Galapagos turtles, they live like 100 and something years. So they're really long lived. But like box turtles, they live, 50 years plus. But like 50 is the average, and then a lot of them can live over 100 years. Actually, let me grab this turtle. See, they had it's just like a tree. And it's not perfect, but you may be able to see, because there's segments in the shell, and then each segment has rings, growth rings in it, so you can kind of see them. These right here, and it gets a new growth ring every year. So this one is probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really hard to say. At least 9 years old. Jay says, okay, old man, getting tired. Night, my comrades, compadres. You too, Jay. Thanks for coming. Mr. Lee says, Galapagos Islands. I want to go there. Yeah, that'd be a cool place to go. Sanders says, good night, Jay. Get some rest. Yeah, this one's at least 9 years old. But yeah, they can live past 100. This type of turtle can. But not all of them. Yep. So see you later, cowboy. Probably gonna wrap her up here in a second. Thanks for coming. Yeah, because it's getting late. So anyway, thank y'all for stopping by. Just figured while I was hanging out in a hotel room with some turtles, I might as well live stream the situation.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Thank y'all for coming, and I'll see you next time.